What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to episode 225 of D&E TAKEOVER. That's 225. We are in the building for tonight's show. As you can tell, I am by myself today. Unfortunately, Eric still has more homework to do, so doing the homework, as always, as he's doing the show. So hopefully he gets that done. He should be back on Thursday, though, which is a positive. So we get to hear him back on Thursday, but we'll see how he gets. I know he has some more editing to do, and I know how anything about this podcast, I know how the editing goes, so we know, and we just hope he gets a good grade. Eric, come on. We're rooting for you, man. But as well as that, let's move on into some topics we have for today's show. We have a jam-packed episode, and also a quick little thing, a little announcement. Today's Monday, the 30th of October, and if anyone doesn't know or celebrates this, tomorrow is Halloween. So I want to give a round of applause to everyone who celebrates Halloween. If you don't, I'm sorry. If you do, there you go. Tomorrow, trick-or-treating, whatever. I'm not a big fan of Halloween myself, guys. I don't know. Comment down below if you're a big fan of Halloween. Yeah, I was never really into the dressing up and going and get candy. I mean, when you really think about it, it's kind of backwards from what we're taught when we were younger. You go the one day of the year where you can go to a stranger's house and get some candy and and it'd be okay and actually be like a societal norm. It's kind of weird when you think about it, but overall, yeah, Halloween's tomorrow. So if anyone is celebrating with their kids or anything or going by themselves, hey, happy Halloween. But as you can tell, which is why I'm wearing my Aaron Rodgers jersey. Shout out to Mario for getting it. I shout out to him all the time for getting it. But round of applause to him. I got that Aaron Rodgers. I'm representing him today. And he was on the field last night, not playing, but obviously he was throwing the football around. And he looks great. Honestly, I think the more it's kind of hard and unrealistic to think about it. But the fact that he's going to be coming back in week 16, week 17. But the more that I see him on the field and throwing the football, the more I'm convinced that he can come back at week 16 and week 17, if not sooner. The way he's playing right now, I think he can come back in next week because he's throwing the football. All we need to do is keep him safe, but that's the only issue with the Jets offensive line. But real quick, although we got a jam-packed episode, we'll see how far this takes us, see how far my mouth can take us, because pause, Ayo, because let's see how long I can, speak, because last time it was an hour, but, the struggle of a dry mouth is never popular. But Fernando's in the building. What's going on, Fernando? He said Halloween, also not a fan, 100%. Yeah, I know that one. Mario said, yeah, you kept your word, Dave. Aaron freaking Rodgers jersey. Of course, Mario. Come on, how can I forget, man? Aaron Rodgers. We're in the building today, Halloween. Victor's in the building. What's going on, Victor? Are we having a great day? What's good? Yo, I'm having a great day right now. I'm going to give a quick little rundown of what we're going to be talking about today. We're going to be talking about NFL recap of Week 8. And we're going to be talking about tonight's football between the Lions, Knives' Lions. Hopefully he's in the building. Hopefully he shows up today. Knives' Lions against the Oakland Raiders. Oh, we're going back like 5-10 years. The Las Vegas Raiders. Also, we're going to be talking about the recap in the NFL on Sundays because we have the Chiefs playing terrible football, as well as the 49ers playing another terrible football game, as well as the Carolina Panthers doing some history. Hey, good for them. And also another guy who made some history in the NFL. And also we're going to get into the week 1 recap of the NBA because give you a rundown of who's in first, what's the standings looking like, who looks like the hot team right now. And obviously I think one team I can guarantee did not miss a beat from last year, and they're kicking off where they left off. Also, I want to discuss a little bit of soccer. And we had some breaking news today. If anyone is not aware, we have a new Ballon D'Or winner for the 2023. So we're going to discuss that and get my thoughts on that, as well as want to hear your thoughts on this because I have a little more. I got a little problem with some of these, but overall, and also we're going to talk about Francis Ngannou and Tyson Fury fight that happened on Saturday, and a great fight for both of them. But without further ado, let's kick it off the episode with some Sunday night football or Sunday football in general. Starting off with the I guess we got to go bad news first because I'm sorry, guys. I didn't watch this game because obviously I don't have NFL Red Zone, which I should get because that's a good idea. But I'm kind of glad I didn't watch this game because I would be very disappointed. The Chiefs versus the Broncos. I'm sorry. The Let's Ride Broncos defeated the Chiefs. Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs. Everyone healthy. Travis Kelce was there. Chris Jones. Everyone was healthy. Isaiah Pacheco. Everyone. And they lost 24-9 against a Denver Broncos team. If I would have told you this before, right? If I would have told you this before the game, I say Russell Wilson's going to outduel Patrick Mahomes. You would have said, David, you're crazy. You suck at this. you need to get quit podcasting. You don't know what you're talking about. But guess what? Good thing I didn't say that because I didn't want to believe it. But it happened in reality, guys. For anyone who made a bet that Patrick Mahomes have a worse game than Russell Wilson, listen, you got to, yeah, you made a pretty good amount of money that day because Russell Wilson had a really good game. He threw for 3 touchdowns. Also, he had a total of not just 3 touchdowns. When you look at the yardage, 114 yards, that's not even that good, man. He threw it for 12 for 19. That's like, he got sacked 6 times. It was just more the touchdowns that bring the difference. And also, not only that, Patrick Mahomes throwing 2 interceptions. And also having a fumble as well. So in that game, Russell Wilson had the same amount of turnovers that Russell Wilson had the same amount of touchdowns that Patrick Mahomes had as turnovers. Absolute blasphemy, like my friend Stephen A will say. And he is my friend Stephen A. We talk. Anyway, Patrick Mahomes is one of those games, and people have been asking. I said this last week on who's the best team in the NFL. And I know a lot of people were saying the Chiefs, the Eagles, all that stuff. I was all for the Chiefs. They didn't have the best record. They had the second best record in the NFL last week. And looking at it, I was like, hey, they have the Patrick Mahomes. They have their Travis Kelce. Travis Kelce's balling out. They got freaking Chris Jones back. Everyone looks up to form. Isaiah Pacheco's playing amazing. They look like an insane team because they have everyone together and they're finally finding their step. But after this week, guys, I don't even know who to put as the best team. The 49ers went down. The Chiefs went down. The only team that's been staying consistent from week in and week out, regardless of one loss to the New York Jets, shout out to the Jets, was in fact the Eagles. The Eagles are the only inconsistent team. They're 7-1 right now. So for me to say that the Eagles are not the best team in the league is kind of like it's kind of ridiculous because I think that they are the best team based off of what they've been putting in and week out, even though they don't even look that good. This guys just show how weird this NFL season is, guys. And I don't know if you guys would agree with this, but in general, how the NFL season is going on, but it just doesn't feel right. It does not feel right. I am not comfortable with any MVP pick. I'm not comfortable with any best team pick. Like last year, me and Eric, we do our list of the NFL awards, right? And what we did, no, it was not we predicted on every single player to win these awards: offensive rookie of the year, offensive player of the year, MVP, all those awards we predicted, and we got all of them correct. This year, I'm scared to even do it because I don't even know who MVP is. It was Kirk Cousins for a little bit, and now he's injured with a ruptured Achilles tendon. Also, you had Patrick Mahomes for a little bit, especially last week. After this game, I don't even know if he's up there. Josh Allen's up there. Lamar Jackson. There's so many names that goes back and forth. Now Justin Herbert's in the queue. There's so many names that are going back and forth that I don't even know if it's unpredictable nowadays. And I don't know if that's good for the sport. I want to hear you guys' thoughts on this because is the unpredictability of the NFL good for sports or just in general? Is unpredictability in sports good, or do you like watching a game being like, okay, they're the better team, they should win? Or do you like saying like, hey, maybe the Denver Broncos can beat the Packers, the Kansas City Chiefs? I don't know, guys. I just felt like every single week there's always something that's going on, and like last year it would be like once a week, like one team would be like shocking. Now I feel like it's like almost every single game is like a shocker now. It's really ridiculous. But real quick, let's get into these comments real quick. Mario said, Eric doing homework again. What the? I know, man. It's a lot. It's a lot of homework. It's unacceptable. No, it's honestly, show me some of the work he's been doing. Actually, really good stuff. He's making a music video. He's editing a movie right now. So he's got to get that done by tomorrow's the deadline. So hopefully he gets it done. But it looks really good. I got to give him props for that. Mario said, for me, Dave, there isn't a great team this year. Teams like Eagles, Chiefs, 49ers, Ravens are just very good, but not great. Yeah, I mean, I feel like when you looked at it last year, the Chiefs were in the A grade along with Eagles. Obviously, those two teams made the Super Bowl, ironically. But those are the two best teams throughout the whole season. And they were in like the elite category. I agree with you, Mario. I think everyone is just very good. Like the Ravens are good. And we were looking at them like, oh, if the Ravens can keep, last week we were looking at them as like, if the Ravens can keep up this form, they are the best team in the NFL. And they won their game last week, but they won 31-24 against an Arizona Cardinals team. I mean, like this is what I'm talking about, the up and downs. And I'm not like one is because of the fact that the Cardinals are the team that they only won by a touchdown again. Not even that. They allowed 24 points. This defense is a legit defense, and they allowed 24 points against a Joshua Dobbs team. And Joshua Dobbs has been playing great. I got to give him a round of applause for that. But anyway, by the talent of the Cardinals compared to the talent of the Ravens, there's no way that offense of the Cardinals should be putting up 24 points against the Ravens. It just doesn't make any sense. So, like, I cannot put one team, I mean, other than the Eagles. I have the Eagles in the very good area, and everyone else is just very good. Like everyone else is in the same area. I agree with that, Mario. I think it's the only logical explanation for it. No one is elite, and it can change every week. See, anyone can win the Super Bowl this year. That's so true, because I remember last Thursday, me and Eric, we did the Super Bowl predictions or playoff brackets for the NFL. And I don't know what I had. He has it on his list. I forgot who the Super Bowl was. I believe it was the Chiefs and the 49ers, something like that. But like now I'm looking at it, I'm not even confident in any one of them. Hopefully we do it like later in the season as well to predict it, because right now I have no idea. And honestly, like you said, Mario, there could be the Ravens making the Super Bowl. It could be the freaking Chiefs making the Super Bowl. It can make the Eagles making the Super Bowl, the Seahawks, the Lions, Cowboys. Yeah, right. Sorry, guys. I didn't mean to make a joke. The Cowboys are never making the Super Bowl, at least in my lifetime. And I think I can put a decent amount of money on there. Mario said, only if we had a good quarterback, we would be one of those teams, I believe. Hey, Mario, listen. The season's not over yet. And I don't know if you've been hearing around the grapevine, but there's a guy named number 8, not named number 8, labeled number 8 right there. I don't know if you can see him right there. Named Aaron Rodgers, that is supposedly supposed to come back in the later of the season. And if he comes back and we're in a playoff position, I don't care what spot we're in. I don't care for the last wild card spot. This team is a Super Bowl team if Aaron Rodgers comes back. But that's that. I want to move past it a little bit because I was really disappointed by the Chiefs. I want to hear everyone else's thoughts on that. Do you think the Chiefs game is kind of like a scare, or do you think it's one of those things where it's like, it's just one of those weeks, or we should be concerned about this team? And honestly, I'm looking at it. I'm concerned about the Chiefs because even when they versed the Lions in week 1, I know they didn't have Travis Kelce or what's his name, Chris Jones, because of the contract issue. It got to a point where like this whole season, they were not consistent in their dominance. Like if we go back into their games, they lost to the Lions by 1 point. Sure, they didn't have their guys, but still didn't look like good football. They only won by 8 points against the Jaguars, which was like a closer game at the time. They dominated the Bears as expected. And then they only beat the Jets by 3 points with some controversial calls by the refs. And also they only beat the Vikings by 7 points. They beat the Broncos by 11 points, but that was a 19-8 game. You expect them to dominate more. And they beat the Chargers 31-17. That's when we started to think that they were finding their rhythm. And then this week they lost 24-9. So I don't even know where the hell to put them. I just feel like there's been no consistency, because usually we have that trust again with Patrick Mahomes, and I still have trust in Patrick Mahomes. I don't think anyone doesn't, but I think the point where it's like, all right, when's the turnover is going to stop? Because if you're looking at Patrick Mahomes' numbers, specifically in the last couple of games, Patrick Mahomes, I believe, if I'm correct, I'm going to pull up these exact stats so I don't seem wrong, but Patrick Mahomes in the last, 2 games, 3 games? Yeah, we'll just go with the last 5 games. Since he versed the Jets, Patrick Mahomes has had six interceptions. I'm doing quick math real quick. 8 touchdowns and 6 interceptions. When's the last time we've seen Patrick Mahomes with like 8 touchdowns, 6 interceptions in the last 5 games? That's insane. That's a terrible ratio for him. For other quarterbacks, is good. If you look at this season, he has 2,258 yards, which is really good. 15 touchdowns, good. But only with 8 interceptions. That's like almost a 2-to-1 ratio in terms of touchdowns and interceptions. And that's not what we've been seeing from Patrick Mahomes in the past. Even though these are still top 5 worthy quarterback numbers, specifically this year, it's still not good enough to the point where Patrick Mahomes is the X factor for this team. And this is why I'm not confident about saying that they are a Super Bowl team until Patrick Mahomes gets his stuff together and gets less turnovers, honestly, because it's literally the same team as last year, other than Eric Bieniemy, which I think is a big part of that. But I don't know, guys. What's your thoughts on that? Also, for Denver Broncos, I don't think we got to put too much into this. I just think the Chiefs lost this game compared to the Broncos winning it. The Broncos just took advantage. They capitalized when they had to. But the Broncos at 3-5, they're not going to make no noise. I'm sorry. They suck. Even though they won, they suck. Anyway, next one. We're going here. Knives in the building. What's going on, Knives? I want to talk about your Lions, my man, because the Lions are playing tonight at 8:15. But I hope you're having a great day, dude. Also, Knives says, so guys, is Will Levis the best quarterback in this class? Project for me, peeps. Oh, there we go. I can't read today. Well, when can I ever read? Anyway, is Will Levis that guy? I had him in my notes as like that. It was the day of the first. I want to give a round of applause. I'm gonna get right into it. This yesterday was a day of first for a couple of guys. Day of first for the Carolina Panthers. They got their first victory. That should be celebrated. Day of first. And also another guy played his first NFL game, had his first career NFL touchdown, and then after he's like, you know what? Let me add on 3 more. He had 4 total touchdowns in his first career NFL game. Will Levis, Mayo Man, like Eric likes to call him. He's a third player in NFL history to have 4 touchdowns in the first game of his career. I don't know who the other 2 are, but I'm just going to say, when you're making history in your first game of the season, that's saying something, guys. And I don't know if you guys heard this a while back, but I've been saying this, especially with that whole class, not the whole class, the quarterback room of the Tennessee Titans. I said Will Levis is the best quarterback in that room. Malik Willis cannot throw the football, and also Ryan Tannehill is like 55 years old. Will Levis needs to take some control and needs to play some games. And then this year, he actually played some games. Or last week, or this Sunday, yesterday, he played some games and he showed what he can do. And he used his biggest weapon in DeAndre Hopkins. So I'm pretty proud of him. He's doing pretty good in his first game. He looks comfortable. He's throwing the deep ball efficiently. I mean, it's kind of easy to be good or look good when you have one of the best wide receivers in the NFL. So overall, just a tremendous game for him, though. I think after saying that, to answer your question, though, Knives, is he the best quarterback in the class? After the first game, you can say hell yeah, but I would say no because of the fact is, what do you got? You got drafted this year, right? Yeah, he's a rookie. So yeah, I would say no because CJ Stroud has been that dude this year, and he's actually been playing like all of the games. He's played 8 games so far, or 7 games, and he's been ridiculously good. But Will Levis can potentially be the number 2 guy, if not overtake number 1 if he plays this way for the rest of the season. But right now, I have CJ Stroud as the best quarterback, and I think his numbers produce. He had like the most passing attempts, or top 5 in passing attempts as a rookie without an interception, something like that. But yeah, no, Will Levis looked good though. I don't know what you guys think about that. I think Tennessee with Will Levis looks very bright of a future. I just think with the Derrick Henry as a running back, what they said at 3-5 right now. What's their record right now? Tennessee Titans. I know they only beat the Falcons, which is not really that big of a victory, but for them, they're 3-4 right now. They are sitting currently tied for second in their AFC South. I don't think they're going to win the division against the Jaguars, but they could be one of those teams that slides into an AFC wildcard spot, maybe the 7th spot, if they keep Will Levis and Will Levis plays this well. I mean, they have the talent. Let's see if they can do it. We all knew the issue was quarterback and who's going to be throwing them the football. And now if they have the issue solved, they can be like a good team that makes the wild card. But anyway, I want to hear your thoughts on that. Knives said not yet for the Lions. This year is 11-6 in a playoff game. Only reason why I brought up your Lions is because that they're still a great team. They're a good team. And we were bringing it up in the sense where this year, there's no consistent number 1 team like there was last year or years in the past. Like last year is the Eagles and the 49ers. We looked at those 2 teams that they're elite and they're both for their conferences. This year, it's like, I don't know who's elite. I don't know who's not elite because everything changes by every week or every single game. But the only reason why I put the Lions in there because they can pull off something. They're a good team. They're in the great team category with the Ravens, with the Dolphins, with the Bills, with the Chiefs, with the Eagles, 49ers, all those teams. But there's no elite team. And I think a lot of people can agree with that. Because Mario mentioned that before. Where is this? Nye says, David, if the Jets are in playoff position with 4 weeks left and Rodgers comes back and they go 0-4, do you and the Jets fan worldwide owe Zach Wilson an apology? No. I don't think we owe him an apology because the fact is he's tortured us in the past. So I just think we're even. That's how I look at it. He screwed us over last year and years in the past with terrible play and terrible attitude. And if he actually, which he's been doing pretty good this year, I got to give him a round of applause. He's been maturing for our own eyes. I just think we're even. I think we're even. But Jets fans, New York fans, you know how we are. So I don't know if they're gonna be so sincere to Zach Wilson in that case. But overall, he's been doing good. I gotta give him props. But Aaron Rodgers, to go back on your point, Aaron Rodgers is not going 0-4 with this team. If they're winning, if they're 4-3 with Zach Wilson, they're not going 0-4 with Aaron Rodgers at the end of the season, unless Aaron Rodgers is playing in a full body cast and can't throw the football, which is kind of like unrealistic. Let's just say that. But I want to real quick about the Jets. They beat the Giants 13-10. Scary game. Zach Wilson showed up big towards the end. I'm surprised they got that snap off. If you guys watched the game, you guys know what I'm talking about with 1 second left to put the game into overtime. But that game was basically the Giants losing it themselves. That's all it was. Graham Gano missed 2 field goals. If you would have made both of them, the Jets would have lost. The Jets just didn't play good enough. The defense played tremendous, but as they should against a third string quarterback. But Zach Wilson did not look the same. Obviously, the conditions weren't optimal for both teams. But overall, they had a combined of 24 punts that game for both teams. It was just a game that you wanted to burn your eyes out. But and as a New York fan of both of those teams, I just like whoever the best team is wins. I don't really care at this point. But hey, the best team, honestly, the best team, like it's weird because the Giants, I felt like their defense played great and their offense obviously did a little bit better because they scored more points and got into more positions to get field goals than the Jets. But like overall, it's like one of those things like it's the battle of who's worse. I think that's what it was in that game. But the Jets got the victory. Now they're 4-3. The Giants are 2-5, 2-5, 2-6, something like that. I don't even know. I think they're 2-6. They're one of those looking at like one of those seasons that it's like, hey, we're going to be thinking about next year. But hey, the season's not over. NFC still looks wide open in the wild card. So maybe the Giants' schedule does get easier. So we'll see what happens. Mario said right now we should be 6-1 because we should have beat the Chiefs. Pats, what do you think? I mean, I don't think that's crazy to say. I think when you look at that Chiefs game specifically, the refs had a big factor into extending that game and not giving us the ball back. But also Zach Wilson's fumble didn't contribute to that as well later in the game. But overall, I will say this. I do agree with that. Looking at how the Patriots play now, we should have beat the Patriots. 15-10 and we lost them. Absolute blasphemy. And also the Chiefs only losing by 3 points and playing that good that we did, and their defense playing amazing and Zach Wilson playing really good. We deserve to win that game. But yeah, I think we should be 6-1 too. I think a lot of Jets fans do, and I think a lot of non-Jets fans think that the Jets should be 6-1, which would be weird to say with 6-1 with Zach Wilson as your quarterback. But when you look at the games, they should have beat those. They should have beat those teams. The only loss that I can say is acceptable that we should have never won, and will never win, is against the Cowboys because we got absolute mollywopped by that team. Naj says the Chiefs are fine. Don't worry about it, bud. All right, I'm not worried about nothing. But I mean, I think a lot of people are a little worried. I don't know if Chiefs fans are. I don't have a lot of Chiefs fans. But if you are a Chiefs fan in the building right now watching this, are you concerned about your team? And if you're not, why? And also, if you're watching this right now and you're enjoying the stream, make sure you hit that like button down below. And if you have any questions to ask, just hit the comments down below like everyone's doing here. We appreciate every single one of you guys that do that. And also just tuning in. Love you guys. And if you're new here, follow, hit that subscribe button down below. But let's move on to the next question. Mario said, I need a huge game out of Davante Adams tonight or another loss for me in fantasy. Ooh, need 24 points. Damn. I mean, the only positive I can say about that, or about that game in general, is that they have Jimmy G back from concussion. So they can actually move the football, which is a positive. So I think Davante Adams getting 24 points isn't crazy, but it's going to be tough. You need at least 2 touchdowns or a 100-yard game with 10 receptions from Davante, something like that. But hey, it is possible. Anything can happen. But I will tell you, Mario, after next week, when you have that number 1 wide receiver on your team, Mike Evans, I'm just saying, everything's going to be fine. And I have Isaiah Pacheco. Everything's going to be great for us. We're going to see each other in the finals. All I'm going to say is that everyone, especially Eric, and I'm going to tell him this when he comes back, everyone said that I was not going to do fantasy. I stopped doing lineups. I had a bad start to the season. I will tell you that. I was 1-3 at one point. And now I'm 4-3. Going on actually, I just won this week, 5-3. So I'm just telling you, I went from the worst to a top in my division. I'm not trying to boast or anything. I'm not trying to boast. I'm just saying. I want some respect. Now it says Levis had twice as many touchdowns as Tannehill. One game it took him to do that. That's insane stat. That's absolutely ridiculous stat. Nice. I don't even know if that's true or not. I'm gonna trust your word. I think that is true. And if that is, that's absolutely blasphemy. Is twice as many touchdowns as Tannehill. And Tannehill did it in 5 games? 5-6 games to do that, and he did that in 1. I mean, hey, as a young quarterback or a young player, once you get that first play and you get a touchdown in you get your first career touchdown, and like you have so much hype, everyone's backing you up, your confidence is at all-time high, and you throw another touchdown. Will Levis is floating above God right now, and that's how his attitude is right now. With 4 touchdowns in your first NFL game, after being a quarterback that was supposed to go in the first round but dropped to the second round, and now all of a sudden you're like, all right, I got to prove something. He has a lot of nerves on his shoulders, and then he throws the first touchdown. He's like, okay, they're off. And he throws 4. He's like, all right, I'm the man. That's how I feel like he is right now. He played great. I'm not saying he is. He's got to prove a little more, but I'm saying that's how he feels right now. Mario said Levis was throwing darts yesterday. Damn, no, he was throwing the deep ball. Great. I mean, hey, I will tell you this. It's easier for a young quarterback that has a talent to be in a situation where your number one wide receiver is DeAndre Hopkins. If you put Will Levis on the freaking, I don't know, pick a bad team, on the Carolina Panthers, we don't know if he's going to be that good because they don't have the weapons around him. But on the Tennessee Titans, he has Derrick Henry and he has DeAndre Hopkins. So it's a very good space for him to be in, especially at his young age in his career. He can grow with them. And grow his game as well. Livewire, shout out to Livewire in the building, man. Appreciate you. Also, he said, I think defenses will adjust, and also let's not forget they played the Falcons. Yeah, that is true. I did mention that before. The Falcons that pretty much explains it. They're not a good team, even though their record is, was it 4-4 now? 4-3? Something like that. 4-4. They're 4-4 now. They're top of their division, but the NFC South is doo-doo. It sucks. Yeah, there's nothing really to think big. I just think it's more impressive that he scored 4 touchdowns in general in his first game. Doesn't matter what team he versed. For your first career game to throw 4 touchdowns, there's a lot of quarterbacks this season that hasn't even thrown 4 touchdowns in a game. I mean, I can already name a couple off the bat. Let's try to do this and tell me if I'm wrong. Mac Jones, I don't think he threw 4 touchdowns. Zach Wilson, hell no. I watched those games. Kenny Pickett, no. Deshaun Watson, no. Joe Burrow, I don't think so. Tannehill, hell no. CJ Stroud, no. Yeah, I mean, literally, I'm looking at all this list. I think the only quarterbacks that did are Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, Tua, Josh Allen, Jalen Hurts, Dak Prescott. And that's basically it. Sam Howell. Yeah, Jared Goff. I think that's basically it. I think that's all. Everyone else has not scored 4 touchdowns. So I think scoring 4 touchdowns in a game in general, it doesn't matter your opponent, is still very decent. Not decent, very amazing. Nav says, my Lions 41-28. What other questions do you have, Sarah? This is when I asked, who do you think is going to win tonight? So tonight's matchup, if anyone doesn't know, it's supposed to start at, what is it, 8:15? Yeah, 8:15 on ABC and ESPN. It's between the Las Vegas Raiders are going up against the Detroit Lions in Detroit. Honestly, I'm looking at this game. Detroit Lions should win this, and I don't think it should even be a question. The Raiders are one of those teams that are in the gray area that me and Eric always discuss. The gray area is not the best area to be in. You have a situation where you're not good enough to make it far into the playoffs or even let alone make the playoffs, but you're not bad enough where you're going to get the number 1 overall pick. So like they're in that number where it's like, we got to think about the future, but we still have a decent enough team where we can make a run. But listen, they're not going to make a run. I have the Lions winning this. I don't know what the score is. The Raiders defense isn't good. I'm going to go, let's go 35-24. Why not? 35-24. Livewire said Eagles is still number 1. I respect that. I agree with you. 7-1. It's hard to beat that team with that record and say that they're not number 1 at 7-1. But even looking at the Eagles in general, they're one of those teams that like, I just don't think that they don't. Let's just say this: compared to last year, they regressed. I think we can say that comfortably. Livewire said the Eagles are still elite, and I'm a Cowboys fan. Oh wow, that's a lot coming from a Cowboys fan. The Eagles are still elite. Livewire, I want to ask you this: as a Giants fan myself, how do you think about the Giants? As a Cowboys fan, you think the Giants are elite? No, I'm just messing with you. Obviously not. But I wouldn't put them in the elite category because even the games, their schedule has been very easy. And in the games that they played, I know the Washington Commanders, the first game that they played, they put them into overtime and they barely won. And then last week, they won by a touchdown. So I don't even know if to put into consideration if they're really that dominant of a team yet. I mean, they lost to the Jets. Yeah, I mean, they lost. They it was a 7 point game, 6 point game with the Vikings when they won, and also a 5 point game against the Patriots. Um, Knives says, I get that, David, but 11-6 in a playoff win, and we'll throw a parade in Detroit. Hey, listen, after years of misery, I definitely think Detroit would be happy with just making the playoffs in general. I get that. As a New York Knicks fan, I think when we made the playoffs 2 years ago, was it 2020, 2021? I was ecstatic. I was ecstatic to even forget the fourth seed. I'm ecstatic to even get a playoff series. It's been like that since Carmelo Anthony. Where are we? Knife says he screwed us. He screwed us. Now be good. He said he screwed us. Now be good. That is the best Zach Wilson take I've ever heard. We're even. We're even. He screwed us, but now we're good. Listen, you can screw us in the beginning, and the best thing about fans in general, diehard fans, specifically New York fans, is that people say it's so hard to make it in New York, and I understand that because the fans are ridiculously annoying, even coming from me. It's just the point where it's like they won't let you forget about it when you play bad. But like the same attitude that they do to when you play bad, they will give you a better attitude when you play great. Like you said, Joe Namath is celebrated in the Jets history, and he only won one Super Bowl for them. And I know one Super Bowl is amazing, but overall, it's just like that's all you need. Like you don't need no Tom Brady dynasty. We don't need no 7 rings. We don't need no Chiefs dynasty right now with a couple rings. All you need is one ring in New York, and everyone will remember you as a legend. If Zach Wilson gets one ring, he's gonna be like, "Oh, Zach Wilson was one of the best Jets quarterbacks." That's all it is, and it sounds ridiculous to say, but it's the truth. Mario said, "When you have Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce, you are fine." Oh yeah, no worries from Mario. He said, "Also leave a like. Everyone, these guys deserve it." Appreciate you, Mario. Yes, listen to him, guys. Listen to Mario. Give us a like right now. Come on. Live Wire said Raiders win 27-20. Ooh, Knives. You hear this? 27-20. Raiders win. I want to hear your thoughts on this, Knives. Come on. Live Wire say Eagles aren't dominant. They just find a way to win. Yeah. And honestly, like that's why I put them at number one, because they've been the most consistent team week in and week out. Even though their consistency doesn't level up to what they were last year in dominance, it's still good enough where they're winning games. So I do respect that, but I don't think they're in the elite category yet. I gotta see games. Like who's their next? I need to see a tough game that they got at first. Ooh, speaking of tough games, they got like 4-5 in a row tough games. They got the Cowboys next week. And then the 20th of November, they verse the Chiefs, and then the Bills and the 49ers and the Cowboys. That is crazy. If they win at least, I mean, listen, they should beat the Cowboys. Tough against the Chiefs at Arrowhead. They should beat the Bills. They could beat the 49ers. They should, if they come out with this with a winning record of 3 wins or more, I'll be okay. Eagles are legit. If they win 4 games, oh my gosh, they're in that league category. But this next couple 5 games for them is going to be a tough task for that team. Live Wire said Giants are definitely elite at losing. Oh, damn. That stinks. It's true though. Live Wire says what makes the Eagles elite is their strategy, their adjustments, the coach, and also the best 1-2 receiver punch in the game today in AJ Brown and Jalen Hurts. Listen, AJ Brown looks like honestly he's could argue as he's the best wide receiver in the league, but I'm not going to do that right now. I'm going to go top 5 at least. It's hard to argue you by looking at their record and saying, hey, they're not an elite team with 7-1. All I can say is I'm not comfortable putting them at that because of the amount of close games that they've had against teams that they should be blowing out. Like the Commanders, they should not be a 1-possession game in both times that they versed them. The Jets, they should not be losing to the Jets. And I'm a Jets fan. With Zach Wilson, your quarterback, you should not be losing to them. And also only winning by 5 points against the Patriots week 1 and also against the Vikings. But hey, the next 5 games, I'll feel comfortable if they put up and they produce against those 5 teams, it's gonna be something special. Livewire said, out of all the teams this year, San Fran were elite until 2 weeks ago. So if there was an elite team in the league, who is? Here's my thing. This is my thing, and I think some people agree with this. I don't think that there's an elite team. But if I had to, based off of your question, if we have to put one in the category of elite, I would have to go with the Eagles based off of their record. but I don't feel comfortable doing that because I feel like everyone is in the category of very good, and not everyone in the league, but like teams like Chiefs, Dolphins, Ravens, Eagles, Cowboys, they're just in the category of very good. I don't think no team. The reason why I don't put them in elite, because then I put you in a elite category, I'm expecting you to dominate game in and game out against any opponent, or at least win your games. And looking at the Eagles, I don't think that they can do that, obviously, because we've seen some games where they've been a little iffy. But if I had to do an elite category, it would go to the Eagles, obviously. Last week, if you would have asked me that, it would have went to the Chiefs. But after what they did against the Broncos, I think it's safe to say that the Eagles are the best team in the league right now. Nye says, don't be surprised if we beat the Raiders, wake up Tuesday morning and trade for Crosby and add. Nice. We got a lot of picks and we can trade in the Owario brothers. Owario brothers? I don't know how to pronounce that name. Knives. You are expecting to get Max Crosby, their best defensive player, and Devontae Adams, their best offensive player. I don't know what kind of trade you're thinking, but I don't think that's going to happen. And if they do, that's kind of dangerous. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. This is crazy. Livewire said AJ Brown has broken 130 yards 90% of the year. I have him on fantasy. He's scoring 25 plus or better. I have him on fantasy too. Round of applause for us for having him on fantasy. AJ Brown is a stud. AJ Brown is a stud. If we have to list, excuse me, sorry, guys in chat, I want to hear your thoughts on this. If we had to list some of the best receivers in the league, could you go Tyreek Hill 1, AJ Brown 2, or is it AJ Brown 1, Tyreek Hill 2? I want to hear people's thoughts on that, because in my opinion, I think that those are the two best receivers in the NFL this year. Other than that, you can argue. I mean, Puka has been great for the Rams, but I think after AJ Brown and Tyreek Hill, I think there's a little gap, and then it goes to everyone else, in my opinion. But I want to hear everyone's thoughts on that. But I do want to discuss. Oh wait, we have another comment from Livewire. It said, "I say the combo of AJ and Jalen is the best in the league." I'm trying to think about that. Yep, I think I agree with that. AJ and Hurts, yeah, I can agree with that. I can get on that. The best combo in the league from receiver and quarterback standpoint. It overpasses Travis Kelce and Mahomes specifically this year. I'm not saying in history, because obviously those two are gods together. But like in terms of this year, yeah, I can go Jalen Hurts and AJ Brown, the best 1-2 receiver and quarterback duo. I like that. Other than that, after that, I'd probably go Tua and Tyreek, but that's only because Tyreek is a freaking beast wide receiver. Now it says, if I got to pick one team as elite today, Jacksonville. And far and away winning that division, also beat up top competition as well like the Bills. Knives. He said it's been very quiet, but Jacksonville is the best team in the AFC, possibly the league. Knives, no. Knives, no. The Jacksonville Jaguars? The Jacksonville Jaguars? They already lost to the Chiefs, so I'm not putting them over the Chiefs. Honestly, looking at the conference, AFC conference, I think looking at this conference, I think that the Jacksonville Jaguars are arguably the fourth or the fifth best team in the AFC. The teams I have over him are the KFC. I almost said KFC, Kentucky Fried Chicken. Kansas City Chiefs, the Dolphins, the Ravens, and I guess you can put them over the Bills because I guess you could put them over the Bills. So yeah, the fourth best team because they did beat the Bills. Yeah, so the fourth best team, and then the Bills are 5. But they're not the best team. They're not even the best team in the AFC. Knives, no. I know you love Trevor Lawrence and you think he's going to win MVP, but I can tell you this right now, it's not going to happen. Trevor Lawrence has not been having that great of a great of a season. He's still been doing pretty good, but it's not to the point where we're looking at it and we're like, wow, MVP numbers. But regardless, anyone else has some thoughts on who the best team in the NFL is right now? And I says, I personally want to apologize to Travis Etienne. I said you retired and didn't tell nobody. I was wrong. I'm so sorry, sir. Yeah, we've been proving you wrong this season. Man, he's been running. He's been the X factor for that offense. And I think if Trevor Lawrence played like he did last year, we can call him as one of the best teams in the AFC, but he's not. He only has 9 touchdowns and 4 interceptions for almost 2,000 yards, which is good, but it's not to the standards that you would be considered a top team. Because I got 4 teams in the AFC that are better than. Or is it? No, 3 teams in the AFC that are better than. I do want to get into one more game real quick, and it's about the Bengals defeating the 49ers. If you're a Bengals fan, I think it's safe to say that the Cincinnati Bengals found their form, and I don't even think no one's bluffing on that. I think Joe Burrow looks fully healthy. Jamar Chase is a 7-11. He's always open, like he says. And yeah, they finally found their chemistry again. Joe Burrow looks like his mobility in the pocket looks so much better. He's actually running out of the pocket now and getting first downs, which is positive for the Cincinnati Bengals. And he looks comfortable in the throwing, especially on that calf, putting the weight on it. So I will tell you this. They're 4-3 right now. They're currently, I think, 8th in terms of the playoffs. They're 1 spot out of the wild card. But they're one of those teams that can still compete for the division, because even though the Baltimore Ravens are 6-2, with one loss, the Baltimore Ravens fall to 6-3. And if the Cincinnati Bengals win 2 more games, they're 6-3 as well. So anything's possible. It's still young in there. So I will say the Cincinnati Bengals have found their life, and they're so weird because they're one of those teams that last year that we were looking at them and they were 0-2 or 0-3 at the point. We're like, oh, blah 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 was the last time an 0-3 team made the playoffs, and the team went on to make the playoffs. And this year was like they were 0-3 at one point, or 1-3 at one point, and I gotta get the exact number on that. They were 1-3 at one point, and we were like, oh, there's no other 1-3 team to make the playoffs, and watch, they're probably gonna make the playoffs this year. So the Cincinnati Bengals look really good. Joe Burrow looks like back to form, and just quick little stats to show you why Joe Burrow is back into form. In the last 3 games, Joe Burrow has had a completion percentage above 68% in each of the last 3 games, for 68% or higher. And also he's had 8 touchdowns and 2 interceptions in the last 3 games. In the first 4 games, it was 2 touchdowns and 2 interceptions for Joe Burrow. And you saw that Joe Burrow was nothing close to healthy. So I think it definitely, the numbers are showing, the wins are showing that this team is fully back, and they look good. They look healthy as well. And that defense only holding the 49ers to 17 points is a round of applause worthy. I think we can all agree on that. But the Bengals are rising up in the power rankings. They look like another team that could be, give them another week or 2 of the same production and the same performance. Hey, they could be a top 5 team in the AFC in terms of the power rankings, or top 4. They can go over the Jacksonville Jaguars if they stay consistent like this for the next 2 weeks. I think it's safe to say I can put them up there. But also the 49ers.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks.
It's so disappointing, especially when you're out here. I'm talking about when I say I said me. When I'm out here giving picks and say, hey, this team's the best team in the NFL, which I said multiple weeks ago with the 49ers. Even though they lost to the Browns, I still said, hey, this is the best team. They showed in week in and week out. They have the best defense. The offense is producing. CMC, after the last 2 weeks, I don't even know what to say anymore, guys. I want to hear your thoughts on the 49ers. Are you concerned for the 49ers? Because they're no longer the best team in the NFC. Obviously, the Eagles are. But they were at one point a couple weeks ago where we were looking at the 49ers as one of the best teams in the NFL. At least I was. And the fact is now, of the unpredictability of the NFL, they look like a team that is stuck in their own way. Like Brock Purdy's last couple of games, Brock Purdy's last 3 games, he has 5 interceptions. I think in the first I got to get the stat complete before I say something wrong. But Brock Purdy has 5 interceptions in the last 3 games. All season, Brock Purdy has had 5 interceptions. I knew that was right, but I want to say that. 5 interceptions the whole season. And all those 5 interceptions came in the last 3 games. And what happened in the last 3 games, guys, for the 49ers? Let's take you through it. Loss against the Browns, 19-17. Loss against the Vikings, 22-17. Loss against the Bengals, 31-17. So I think the answer is real simple, guys. If Brock Purdy doesn't throw interceptions or turn over the football, it leads to wins for the 49ers because the defense is good. Last week, no. Yes, Bengals, no, didn't show. the defense did not produce. And also against the Vikings, they lacked aggressiveness, which was very concerning to watch. But I think Brock Purdy has to be, how do I say, be an example in the offense. Kyle Shanahan's offense for the 49ers is so quarterback friendly. And the fact is that when Brock Purdy was injured, when he had the concussion last week, and they were going to put in Sam Darnold, I was confident that Sam Darnold was going to produce and not skip a beat with this team because of how well Kyle Shanahan coaches that offense and how easy and quarterback friendly it is. But right now, Purdy, the keys for the 49ers to get back on track, Purdy needs to stop throwing interceptions and turning the football over because it gives the other team short field advantage. And guess what? That leads to points, specifically when you verse a good team like the Bengals. They're not going to let up on those points. Also for the defense, gotta get the physicality back. Nick Bosa has been quiet ever since he got that big contract extension, and also their secondary they've been attacking the nickel cornerback all game yesterday against the Bengals. So I will tell you this: couple weaknesses on both ends, but yeah, a couple weaknesses on both ends, but overall it was just one of those games where it's like, I don't know what to think. I don't know if I'm being crazy by saying the Niners are in their own mud, but I think it's pretty obvious that they are. But the Bengals look back on track, which is good for if you're a Bengals fan. But we do have some comments. Let's get into them. Livewire said, oh, there it is. Now Livewire said, well, Kelsey is a tight end, but I have 5 St. Brown, 4 Lamb, 3 Diggs, 2 AJ Brown, and 1 Tyreek Hill. Live, I want to know if you had Travis Kelsey in there, what number would you put him at? Who would you replace him with? Honestly, Hill at 1, AJ at 2, Diggs at 3, Lamb at 4. I mean, honestly, I want to check the teams if I'm missing someone, but I can confidently agree with that. Agree with that. I mean, you could argue Puka over St. Brown. I think you can do that. You can honestly do Adam Thielen. Adam Thielen's been doing an amazing season this year. He's been under the radar because of how bad the team is. But Adam Thielen's having an amazing season this year. You can put Adam Thielen at 5. You can put Puka at 5. DJ Moore at 5. I think you can put a lot of options. I wouldn't put St. Brown because I do think that those guys are better than them. Yeah, but Livewire, if you had to, like, say just for receivers in general, like just catching the football, where would you put Travis Kelsey on that list? Because I think he's definitely, honestly, he's definitely top 10. I think everyone can agree with that. Let's go into this next one. But guys, do you guys agree with this list? I know, Knives, I know you like St. Brown at 5 because the Lions fan, but honestly, I think it's a really good list. I like the top 4. I think I can say are solid. Knives says, play the NFL playoffs in London and watch the prince that was promised to get a ring. LOL. Honestly, I think he likes a little bit of soccer because overall he's playing overseas. He's getting victories in London. But Matt, if they ever do a playoff game overseas, I'm gonna say at this point, don't even call it the National Football League. Call it the International Football League. Because what are we doing playing? So if we play playoff games there, it's like, what's the point? You just ruined it. At least in my opinion. I don't know. Culturally Controversial Podcast is in the building. What's going on, boys? It says salutes. Hit that like button. I can't say go Jets. Fair enough, dude. Well, who's your favorite team then? I like asking everyone who's on the pod who's their favorite team. But thanks for popping out. I appreciate you guys as always, and go check them out on their own podcast. Go give them a follow. Nice says full healthy list. Here we go. Made New Money's in the building. What's going on? Made New Money said, where's Eric? Eric is doing editing homework, unfortunately, for his class, so he's got to get that done. So unfortunately, he couldn't be here tonight, but he'll be here on Thursday, so stay tuned. Live Wire said Niners are still going to dominate, and this is still an elite team behind the Eagles. Purdy will be okay. He has to go through this because he hasn't yet, so this will make him tougher. The Niners will be okay. I'm not freaking out about the Niners. I agree with that. I don't think it's to the point where people are freaking out to the point where it's like, oh, they're going to miss the playoffs. They're not going to win the division. I think everyone knows that this team is still dominant enough. They just had a rough patch in the road, and I do agree with that. But the thing is, it's to a point where it's like in 3 games in a row is kind of concerning. I don't know, but I wouldn't put them elite yet. I just gotta see what they do next week. I don't even know who they're versing next week, but we'll see what happens. I want to see who are they versing next week. Who are the 49ers? Why? Trying to pull it up on my phone. 49ers are versing the Jacksonville Jaguars. Oh, they're not next week because they have a bye week. But after the bye week on the 12th and Sunday, they're versing the Jacksonville Jaguars. So there you go. That's gonna be a good game. That's gonna get them back on track if they see that. Right. CCP. I just abbreviated your name. Sorry. He said also check out Blackout Customs. He goes live for all Knicks games. Oh, listen. Go check him out. Like you said, he goes live for all Knicks games. I love the Knicks. And I know they play tomorrow against the Cleveland Cavaliers, so we got to tune in for that game. So, guys, tune in. There you go. Ethan said, what's up? What's going on, Ethan? Hope you have a great day, my dude. Yeah. Livewire said Kelsey is a tight end, though, not a receiver yet. He said Addison 6, Collins 7. Fair enough. Those guys have been balling out this year, too. He said, OMG, if we add Kelsey and a tight end, it changes the game. Hold up. Okay, fair enough. Let's see the list. Knives says Tyreek Hill 1, Jay Jettis 2, Diggs 3, Chase 4, Devontae 5. Y'all can have AJ in your top 5, but I'm all set, bud. This year, you have Jay Jettis, who's been injured for the last 3-4 weeks. Stephon Diggs, honestly, I can't argue that. Stephon's been really good. Jamar Chase, who has not been producing since 3 weeks because Joe Burrow's been waking up. And Devontae Adams, who I don't even know if he's in the top 5 this year. Over AJ Brown at least. Knives. Come on, Knives. And then CCP said Patriots are their favorite team. Interesting. Ooh. Oh my gosh. I have some great Patriots and Jets moments back in the day. I used to cry when Tom Brady used to verse us. And the fact is that we could never tackle Rob Gronkowski could absolutely just blow my mind every time. But anyway, Livewire said Lamb at 5, Diggs at 4, AJ Brown 3, Kelsey 2, Hill 1. I'm not mad at that. Honestly, for me personally, I would probably go this season alone. I would go Hill 1, Brown 2, Kelsey 3, Diggs 4, and then Lamb 5. I would like that. Livewire says Knives. That's pure AJ hate. Come on, bro. Come on, man. Look at the numbers. I agree. I'm a Giants fan, and I'm putting AJ Brown over there. You just can't deny it. Talent's there. He's producing numbers, and me and Livewire know because he's on our fantasy team, so we see it every single week, and we get the honor and the privilege to be able to have him have 130 plus yards every single game with a touchdown at least. Knife says Jay Jettis has been injured 3 weeks. AJ Brown just now catching up, bro. I'm all set on AJ Brown. Yeah. Just doesn't make no sense. Based off of this season, you're still saying that. Not career-wise, because career-wise, it changes everything. And I don't like doing career-wise because someone can have a 10-year career and someone can only have a 2-year career. Like you do every single year, I think you have a clear understanding. This year, AJ Brown's a better receiver. And that's because Jay Jettis has been injured. If Jay Jettis was healthy, I think Jay Jettis is over AJ Brown because of the production Jay Jettis gives. But let's see what happens. CCP said, my boys on the struggle boat, the Bourne tore his ACL. Yeah, well, that was a shame. Tore his ACL. A lot of people have been tearing their ACLs, man. You saw Kirk Cousins tore his Achilles. That's a shame for him, too, because he's going to the offseason this year as a free agent. So that's going to be one of those situations. I actually want to ask you guys real quick, the NFL minds, the football minds, or just in general. Kirk Cousins goes into free agency next year. He's not playing for the rest of the season with a torn Achilles. I have a thought on this, but I want to hear if you guys' opinion on this. Kirk Cousins, will he be on the Vikings next year? Will you think they re-sign him? Because at that point, I think the Vikings are in one of those situations too where until they move on, I mean, Kirk Cousins has been balling out this year. They need help on defense. I don't know what I'm saying. No, I'm gonna forget what I just said. Kirk Cousins is a good quarterback. If their defense was better, they would be a team that would be a contender. But their defense allows like 35 points a game, so I don't think that's gonna happen anytime soon. Said, dude, 5 weeks straight, AJ Brown. AJ has been the best receiver in the league. Agreed. Stats back it up too. Anyway, NFL. What all other games happen? Oh, the Saints beat the Colts. No shocker. Hopefully they better beat them. And what other big games that I want to talk about? That's pretty much it. Guys. He said no. He will be either Titans or Giants. Interesting. As a Giants fan, I'm kind of fed up with Daniel Jones. I never want him to get that much money, but I still want him on my team because I think he could have grown. But after this year, with him being out 2 games because of a neck injury, I'm kind of sick of it. And him showing no improvement yet is kind of annoying. But hey, I got to see how the rest of the season plays out. But Kirk Cousins is weird because he's not that age. He's like 33 right now. So he's got another 2 more good years of like actual top football before he regresses. So I think if any team signs him, it has to be a team that just needs a quarterback to get over the edge. And I don't think the Giants are that team where they just need a quarterback to get over the edge. The Titans could be that, but they have Will Levis. You could go Saints. You could go Packers. Honestly, I'm trying to look through all these lists. The Falcons could be a good one. Could make Kyle Pitts get some high production. The Patriots. Knives says Kirk Cousins to the Falcons, Drake May to the Vikings. I just said the Falcons. I think Falcons would be a good fit for Cousins. Or just for the Falcons to get Cousins would be in general. Would be a good one. Livewire said Kirk is done, Jefferson done, Vikings done. Fair enough. And then CCP said Giants has the weapons. They got Darren Waller and Saquon Barkley and Darius Slayton. I know. They do have some weapons. I will give you that. They have an offensive line that's improving. And if they add the other piece in the offseason, it could work. Honestly, I might hop on the board just a little bit. I'm just saying this because as much as I don't have no faith in Daniel Jones this year, I still would take the younger age and the athleticism of Daniel Jones over Kirk Cousins because of the future. But I understand where you're coming from. I don't know. I would say, I'm leaning more towards yes after you just convinced me of Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins was playing like a top 5 quarterback before he got injured, and no one can argue that. Now it says, okay, good for him. He should be good with a top O-line, QB and coach. Jamar Chase got Burrow on one leg, cooking folk. Oh my gosh. Is that a little hate towards Kirk? Is that a little hate towards Kirk? Where's the next one? Not live wire said Vikings piss me off. Cam Akers should be one. He is better than Madison, yet the Vikings keep him at 2. Yeah. That whole trade was confusing to the point where you're trading for Cam Akers to help with your running back core, knowing that Cam Akers can take the number 1 spot and still only putting him to number 2. Kind of confusing, kind of weird. It's like, what was the point in the trade then? You know what I mean? Culturally controversial podcast says Giants to me have a top 5 defense. In the first 4 weeks, I would have said, hell no, you're crazy. But after the last, 2 weeks? They versed the Jets last week, and who they versed in week 7? The Commanders. Yeah, they only held them to 7 points. I agree. After the last 2 weeks, the last 3 weeks, they held the Bills to 14 points, even though they lost. The last 3 weeks, the Giants defense has been coming up clutch. But the first 4 games, for the first 5 games, were upsetting. So I don't know if I can put them in top 5 based off the whole season. But based off the last 3 games, I do think that they were top 10 defense. But based off the whole season, no, not yet. Live Wire said Dameon Pierce is the biggest upset in fantasy this year. Oh damn, the amount of I'm trying to get the word. The amount of expectations that the dude had to go off after his rookie year of putting up 1,000 yards rushing. People were like, oh, he's gonna bounce off, and then all of a sudden it's like, where'd he go? CJ Stroud came, and it's like, I guess we only got room for one sheriff in town because no one else can share. Dameon Pierce is not even like, he's not even there. I don't know if he has a touchdown this season. He probably has 1, but that's it. I do want to do a quick recap in the NBA real quick, guys. I don't know if anyone's NBA fans, and if anyone's new here, I want to just drop down who your NBA team is. I like to know everyone's NBA team just so I get a more of a personable touch with y'all. But my NBA team are the Knicks and the Nets. I know a lot of people hate on me because I'm a New Yorker. I get a lot of hate from a lot of people because, they're telling me just pick one team, but I can't. Come on, it's like two ice cream cones, man. Why can't I'm supposed to take one? I'll have them both. And plus, when you have 2 teams that have been in a struggle for a long time, and this has been the Jets and the Giants and a lot of New York teams, when they've been in a struggle, you can have two teams because people just feel bad for you that you have to suffer so long. So they're just like, at this point, just take two. Culturally controversial podcast CCP said Lakers. All right, respect. And Live Wire said Lakers. There you go. We got two Lakers fans in the building right now. Shout out to you guys. I do want to go into some rundown in week 1 in the NBA. Oh, there we go. CCP. Knicks need Randall to play bully ball. I think Randall is most effective when he's the most aggressive. And I feel like a lot of that is in the Knicks offense as well. RJ Barrett is most effective when he's most aggressive. When RJ Barrett's driving to the basket, he looks like he's the best. He's one of the best players on the team. But I do agree with you. Julius Randle has been having a weird scoring start to the season. Everything else, rebounds and assists, have been really good. But his scoring and his shooting has been kind of off this year. So that's something to watch out for. I do think it's still early, obviously. But in order for the Knicks to take that leap to contenders, I'm not saying that they are, in order to take that leap to contenders, because RJ Barrett's having a good season. He's averaging the most points on the team. Jalen Brunson is doing his thing after a slow first game, but he's doing his thing, picking it up. And now we're just waiting for Julius Randle to finish off the big three, the mini big three, in terms of the scoring aspect. But Livewire said Victor Wembanyama is going to dominate once he gets his weight up a bit. Yeah, that's what a lot of people were saying about Chet. I never had really confidence about Chet. I still don't. Even though they said he gained a little bit of weight, I just have no confidence in dudes that, no offense, look like skeletons because of the fact of how easily that they can break. And we've seen in the past where like guys who are skinnier, they get injured more often. It's just basic anatomy right there. There's nothing supporting you. You have no muscles supporting you. Your tendons are weak. And at that height, it doesn't really help you as well. So you got to build up your muscle so you get your bones stronger and be able to be on be on the court for a longer amount of time. But Victor Wembanyama, I think, is different because of the point where Victor Wembanyama actually has some meat on him. He's not like Chet coming out of college where he was like bones. Like Victor actually has some meat, and he actually looks like he fits with his body. Like his weight fits with his body. But I do agree with you. If Victor takes like another 10 pounds of muscle, watch out. Watch out. He's doing good. He's already doing pretty good. I don't think it's like up to the same hype that we had him at in the start of the season, but he's still doing really good. I still think he's top contender of rookie of the year. Nice with Pistons, baby. Watch out for that strongest 16-66 season you ever seen. Hey, Nice. I got to give you more respect in the Pistons this year. I know if you look at the schedule that they versed, it's not like anyone exciting that they beat, but still they're 2-1. They're 2-1 in the fourth place in the Eastern Conference. Absolutely insane. But overall, if you look at the teams that they versed the Bulls. The Bulls look terrible this year. I got to give them the Bulls suck. I'm sorry. If you're a Bulls fan, I feel bad for you because you're in a situation with the gray area that we like to talk about on the show, where it's like you're not good enough to win. You're not good enough to be in the playoffs, but you're not bad enough where you're going to be the worst team in the NBA. You're just like falling around 13 and 12 area, where it's like you're going to get like a number 8 pick. You're not going to get the number 1 dude. Unless you trade DeMar or trade Zach, which I think you're probably your best option for Chicago. Let's go into this next comment. CCP said, number 4 for the Knicks is a good point. Number 4. What's that, Manuel Quigley? Manuel Quigley? I forgot what number Manuel Quigley is. Manuel Quigley. What number is Manuel? Is he 4? Manuel Quigley? Guys, is Manuel Quigley number 4? This is not good for my New York, as a New York Knicks fan. You think I should know this, right? I gotta look it up. No, is it Emmanuel Quigley? I don't know now. Oh my gosh. Emmanuel, and I'm slow at typing too. Oh, he's number 5. Who's number 2? Number 4 on the Knicks? Number 4 on the New York Knicks. Was it Jalen Brunson's not number 4, is he? I gotta find this now. Oh, Dwayne Washington Jr.? I don't know. I never seen him play. So culturally controversial podcast says, I hope Victor doesn't catch the injury bug. Facts. I don't think he will, though. I think he's a little bit built different. Those French guys, those Europeans, are built a little bit more differently than the American dudes, specifically Luka Doncic, Jokic, and now Victor. Pretty good company, especially in this year's this year's NBA. They said Miller Rookie of the Year. I don't know. I still have my hopes on Victor. I still have Victor taking that, but that'd be a good pick to put as a bet. You never know. Now it says 2-1, 14 more wins, and we reach our goal. Detroit basketball. There you go. Round of applause for that. He said 5. I'm sorry. No, you're good, man. So yeah, Manuel Quickley's number 5. Yeah, Manuel Quickley's a stud. 6th man of the year. He should be getting that this year, loading at least. But Quickley will run around in the NBA, run the court. The top teams in the Eastern Conference. You'll be shocked to hear this. Orlando Magic in first with 2-0 record. Indiana Pacers 2-0. Boston 2-0. Detroit Pistons 2-1. Philly 2-1. Bucks 1-1. I'm sorry, not 6-1. 1-1. Hornets 1-1. Wizards 1-1. Miami Heat 1-2. Knicks 1-2. Cleveland 1-2. Bulls 1-2. Hawks 1-2. Toronto 1-2. And the only team to not have a win in the Eastern Conference, hopefully until today, is the Brooklyn Nets. Shout out to my Brooklyn Nets. Let's go, baby. 0-2. Last place in the Eastern Conference, but it's still early. Western Conference, the top team. No shocker. No shocker, guys. They're literally the best team in the NBA, and I think no one can argue that. The Denver Nuggets are 3-0 right now. The Pelicans are 2-0, and hey, Zion Williamson is playing basketball. Who would have thought? He put down the gumbo, and he said, "Actually, let me get back on the court." Also, the Mavericks are 2-0. The Phoenix Suns are 2-1. Golden State Warriors 2-1. Sacramento Kings 2-1. Clippers are 2-1. OKC is 2-1. Timberwolves 1-1. Lakers 1-2. Jazz 1-2. San Antonio Spurs 1-2. Rockets 0-3. Portland 0-3. And Memphis Grizzlies 0-3. Memphis is struggling without Ja Morant showing. Portland has been struggling with Dame there, but they're struggling even worse without Dame there. Houston Rockets, they make all these moves to get Fred VanVleet on their team. They make a lot of moves in the free agency, and they have not have a win this season. That's kind of been disappointing for them this far. San Antonio Spurs, what do you expect? Victor Wembanyama is going to take this basically rebuilding years for them. You're just hoping that this year your goal is Victor's improvement, and also guys around him to start taking it next step like Keldon Johnson. Utah Jazz, what did you expect? I don't really expect them to do that well. Lakers at 1-2. Honestly, and you guys are Lakers fans in this building, right? I want to hear your thoughts on this, because me personally, I'm looking at it. The Lakers are so close to being a top 6 team in the West by only one person doing this, and that's Anthony Davis being consistent. But the fact is, I can't put them at top 6. I do think they're going to make the play-in, though, because I don't know how consistent Anthony Davis is going to be. It is so frustrating. I'm not even a Lakers fan, but it's so frustrating watching Anthony Davis, the guy that they gave the franchise to, the keys. LeBron James said, "Hey, I'm reducing my minutes. Here, take the lead. Be that guy. I'm going to be behind you." And all of a sudden, it's like LeBron James is trying to take over at age 38. It's just not going to work. You're not going to win games. Anthony Davis has become a ghost in the big-time games that we saw last year in the playoffs, and has become a ghost in pretty much every other game he wants to play. Like last game, I know he had 30-something points, and he actually produced. But the first game of the season, he scored 17, and that's it. That's it. Anthony Davis is the key to this team's success. Anthony Davis makes or breaks this team this season and how far they go. But we'll see how that goes. Also, if you look at the Minnesota Timberwolves, nothing really to say. OKC, a young team that has a lot of potential. I think they make a play in this year. LA Clippers, after having disappointment after disappointment after disappointment of a season with the Kawhi Leonard and PG-13, they're looking to rewrite the script and hopefully go far into the playoffs and see what happens to that team and how the injury bug might catch them. But right now they look solid. The Sacramento Kings they're not missing a beat from last year. De'Aaron Fox looks like that dude, as always. Golden State Warriors, Curry is him. We know that. Phoenix Suns, KD is leading. Devin Booker looks great. Gotta see with them with Bradley Beal though. Dallas Mavericks have been shocking. They're 0-2. I know they only versed the Spurs and they beat the Nets, which is not really like two teams that are like amazing, but it's still very solid for Luka and Kyrie Irving. They're finally getting the groove, looks like. And Dallas 2-0 is pretty good. Luka is having a phenomenal start to the season, though. He's my MVP pick, if you guys didn't know. Luka Doncic for MVP. I'm calling it. Also, New Orleans Pelicans, Zion coming back shows that this team is a top 6 team in the West. They can claim that safety into the playoffs. And also Denver Nuggets, the best team in the league. They didn't miss a beat from last year. Jokic is unstoppable. Jamal Murray, that pick and roll matchup is just great. Overall, Brooklyn Nets, what do you expect? Toronto Raptors, what do you expect? Atlanta Hawks, kind of disappointing. They traded for DeJounte Murray, I think it was 2 years ago. It's been a while. And we were expecting a bigger jump from them. Tyreek Hill. Trae Young has kind of regressed ever since they got DeJounte, which is kind of concerning for this team. So we don't know what they're going to do with him. Chicago Bulls, I say just blow it up while you have a chance, or at least sell value for the other guys. Cleveland Cavs, I'm looking at another season where you make the playoffs, but are going to be disappointed in the first round. New York Knicks, they played hard against the Celtics, and I'm not mad at that. But overall, the free throws in that game should have got them the victory. But the Knicks look pretty good. Miami Heat, they look good. Washington Wizards, whatever. For the Charlotte Hornets, whatever. Milwaukee Bucks, Dame and Giannis duo looked good in game 1. Game 2, Dame didn't show up. So I don't know what to think of that yet. It's still early. I still think it's going to be a dominant duo, but they still got to figure out some pieces. The 76ers, Joel Embiid looks really good this year. And overall, but we don't know what to make of that James Harden situation. Honestly, I would just get rid of James Harden while you still can. Get rid of that toxicity early on in the season, so you don't have to deal with it later on in the season. The Pistons 2-1, they look pretty solid. Cade coming back looks really good. Also, Boston Celtics, they look like one of the best teams in the league as well. Indiana Pacers look like a really good, well-together team. And the last one, the Orlando Magic. The Orlando Magic. Never thought I was going to say that. They don't deserve to be number 1 because they versed literally the Rockets and the Trailblazers, 2 teams that have no wins this season. But they versed the Lakers their next game. So honestly, I think that game's going to tell whether the Magic deserve to be on top or they're just frauds this season. But that's literally, I went through all the teams, guys. That's literally the recap of the NBA Week 1. But we got some comments. So it's here. Livewire said, until the Knicks enter an Eastern Conference Finals, I refuse to even care about their chances. Damn. CCP said, Kings will be a threat this year. Fox is a stud. I love Foxy, man. Foxy is insane. De'Aaron Fox. Anyone who watches this podcast knows how much I love De'Aaron Fox. And I've been talking about him before he was even looked at as an all-star. Livewire said, will Luka ever propel as the face in the NBA, or did Joker use him for that title, because Luka not winning a chip will be the only thing that matters when compared as the face versus Jokic. Luka ever propel? Will he ever propel as the face of the NBA, or we're one up him, or would Joker one up him for that title because Luka not winning a chip? I don't think Luka Doncic is winning a chip with this team that he has currently. I don't think anything can change in his career. But if they keep the same team that they have, I don't think that this team is going to, quote unquote, with Luka like that, is going to win a championship. But anything's possible. And if Luka Doncic does win a championship with this team, that's going to be something special for his legacy. Livewire said Luka has to win a chip to overtake Joker as the face. In terms of like European or the best player in the NBA, yeah, no, he needs an MVP first. I think we got to start off small and get to the big prize. He needs at least an MVP. CCP said, and I still think I think Luka can get it. CCP said, AD is pissing me off, and LeBron is still the best player on the team. 100% agree with that. W. He said, 0-6 second half against Denver, unacceptable. Anthony Davis, 0-6. Yeah, you're calling the dude. You pay the dude big bucks to go 0-6. Anyone that's listening to this podcast right now could have done the same production that Anthony Davis did in the second half. And honestly, I'm pretty confident that we can do a little bit more. At least make one shot, or at least get, or maybe at least go to the free throw line, make one bucket. But Anthony Davis not doing that is very concerning. Nice says Luka overrated though, David. We covered this. As you can tell, Knives has done this all the time to me. And if you can't tell, I'm also a Luka fan. Yeah, I don't know if that gave it away. He's not overrated, Knives. Livewire said Giannis doesn't need to dominate with Dame there. They just need to set up an offense that lets Dame lead Giannis, Giannis dominate the paint. That lets Giannis dominate the paint, and the others play their role. 100%. Giannis doesn't have to take those 3-pointer shots. I'm looking at a pick and roll battle with Giannis driving into the paint every time, slam dunk, his physicality, dominating the paint or the mid range. But all Dame has to do, Dame is literally the equivalent to Steph Curry shooting like. So Dame can be anywhere, he can hit the shot, as we saw in the first game of the season. Luca and Coach CCP said Luca will win MVP this year. Agreed. Well, it's a great take. Livewire said 80 is not pissing me off. We traded and paid for a I like this analogy. He said 80 is not pissing me off. We traded and paid for a used Accord with high mileage and a bad transmission. What did we expect? I understand where you're coming at, but the point is, it's like the amount of money you're paying the dude to be that number one guy, when you can be giving that money to someone else or getting another dude that could develop into a star. That's the thing where you got to look at. But no, that was a funny analogy. I like that. Yeah, there you go. But anyway, I do want to discuss one more thing before I honestly just go into we do like after the show we do like a guessing game between NFL, or we do like I don't know what it's called, NFL Weddle. Yeah, where we guess that. We're on a streak right now of like 9 for 9 right now, and also we do a soccer one where we guess the who are you. But one more thing on Ballon d'Or today, because for anyone who doesn't watch soccer, Ballon d'Or results came back, and I do want to discuss this more on Thursday's show when Eric comes back, just so I get his opinion on it. But I did hear that Messi won the Ballon d'Or, so round of applause for him. But I will shut that down real quick, because all I'm going to say is, I said this a couple weeks back on the podcast. I said if Messi wins, it goes to show where we know the biases, and I think that showed with this Ballon d'Or. The fact is that Erling Haaland deserved it, and I get sick and tired of people and a lot of ESPN who basically loves Messi. The guys on ESPN are saying that Erling Haaland should win this award, and if he doesn't, it's blasphemy. So overall, I'm looking at it, and I'm not going to waste my breath too much because it's already happened in the past. And congrats to Messi for getting it, his 8th one. But overall, it's just not right to the players that deserve it. Lewandowski deserved the Ballon d'Or, never got it. Now we have Erling Haaland, who should have deserved the Ballon d'Or. These are players that never had one. And the fact is that you're taking one away and giving it to Messi just because you like him. I don't think it is acceptable, especially when this award is observed as one of the highest awards in soccer. And the fact is, I think it showed this by giving this award to Messi. It showed the corruption and the bias and the favoritism towards Messi that FIFA really showed with people saying that. So overall, I think Erling Haaland deserved it. I said if Erling Haaland wasn't there and he never existed, Messi obviously should win this. But since Erling Haaland's here, Erling Haaland deserved it, and I don't think it was even a debate. And the fact that the people that were debating it was kind of questioning, because Erling Haaland had one of the best historical seasons in all of soccer. He beat the goal scoring record in the Prem, the hardest league. He won the treble. He won so many individual awards, and the fact that he didn't win it is absolute blasphemy. But here's a funny thing. It's how you got to put in an analogy. If Messi was Erling Haaland stats and Erling Haaland was Messi stats this season, you would see Messi win the Ballon d'Or still if they've changed the results. That's why I go, it's no longer about soccer. It's more about Messi's popularity with soccer and how people make it biased. But overall, we see with the MLS right now. MLS is giving Messi the MVP award. He's a nomination for MVP. The dude played 4 games in the whole MLS season compared to the guys who've been playing 38, 36. Come on. It's just not right. It's just not right. You're showing the true colors. But anyway, those are the awards. We're going to talk about more on Thursday. So if you want to hear more about it, stay tuned. Because I know Eric is probably most likely going to disagree with me, but there you go. But there you go. Congrats to all the winners. I didn't list them, but we're going to list them more on Thursday. But Messi won his 8th. Congrats to him. Congrats to Erling Haaland for being nominated. Congrats to everyone for just producing great soccer and football in general. But also one more thing. Tyson Fury defeats Francis Ngannou in split decision. I didn't get to watch that fight. I was watching in the recaps honestly, looking back at it, I think Francis Ngannou won that fight. I don't know if you guys saw that fight or you like boxing in general. I think Francis Ngannou did deserve to win that, but I do think that there was some type of thing where they can't let an MMA dude beat the world heavyweight champion in boxing. But it was definitely a close fight, definitely a close fight. But Francis Ngannou would think deserved his credibility or his respect. Now let's get back into these comments. Knives says Lucas should try to get Mark Cuban into trading Kyrie and trying to get Scotty Barnes, build young. That's good. That's a good take. He said I agree. CCP said I agree. I don't know to either to this Knives' take or whatever to I was saying, but hey, both are accurate. Knives says for Weddle, do AJ Brown, I guess. All right, we'll start off with AJ Brown. Let me write it down in my notebook. AJ Brown, beautiful. Thank you. Knives says, why do you keep on saying Bells d'Or? Bells on doors. Ballon d'Or. It's a soccer. It means golden ball, golden boot. Not golden boot, golden ball. It's the soccer's terms of MVP in NBA and NFL is literally MVP. That's what Ballon d'Or is for soccer. So y'all give bells on doors to Irving? No, not early. Irving? Irving can't get no love on these streets. It's Erling, not Irving. It's Holland. And he said rigged LOL, 100%. Whatever. Without further ado, I do. Oh, wait, we got a comment. CCP said Fury is sloppy heavyweight class and WBC is losing popularity. Yeah. I think what this fight showed, and I think a lot of people agree with this, I think it showed that boxing is losing its popularity. I think it showed when the YouTube fights started coming out with Jake Paul fighting. It showed that they got to a point where they had to. There's more popularity on YouTube boxing than there is in boxing. And we got to remember, boxing is one of our pastimes in America. This is literally one of the foundations that brought into other aspects into fighting. Like boxing was what brought into MMA. Like without boxing, we don't know if there ever will be MMA or UFC. So boxing was the forefather of combat sports, and the fact is that now it's losing popularity, and it doesn't help when you have fighters that won't fight and they wait like 5 years to make an actual decision on who they want to fight, and contract issues. And also I think for people who are trying to get into boxing, it's confusing for them because of the amount of how many freaking titles there are. WBC, so many titles out there. It's so hard to keep track, but boxing's going to have to make some improvements because they're losing popularity as we speak. A live wire said Tyson outpunched him one by was it combo? I don't know what this says. One by whatever that says. Good effort by the opponent, but you have to beat the champ without a doubt to win. No, I agree. I definitely think it was close though. Culturally Controversial Podcast said for at least 15 years. Oh, he said sloppy heavyweight in the class for 15 years. Yeah. And I said Irving Holla. If you hear me, bro, it's Early Holland. He said CCP said nobody wants to lose anymore. Thanks. He said Livewire said boxing died with the exit of Floyd because he exploited the game and made it about records and money versus opponents and fights for those the best first who gets the bigger contract. No, I agree with that. Floyd, that's honestly like a good timeline. I didn't really think about this till right now. You brought this into attention. Ever since Floyd Mayweather retired, that's when it started going downhill because you always see your Floyd versus Manny Pacquiao or Triple G versus Canelo and all these fights. And now all of a sudden it's like Canelo is no longer a big topic no more. And then now Floyd, ever since Floyd retired, it's like if you ask any like person to name or any casual fan to name 5 boxers or 5 UFC fighters, I think they have a better chance of naming 5 UFC fighters. But that's just the way the popularity works. Anyway, guys, let's move on into a little bit of Weddle. All the topics I have for today. So we're gonna try to get into this game called Weddle. If you guys never played, it's basically just a guessing game in the NBA, and we have certain tries in easy mode and hard mode. We do both around here. But since Knives says we got to start with AJ Brown, we're going to start with AJ Brown. But a quick little update around the League of Sports. The Raiders game started, for anyone who didn't know. The Raiders game started, and the Lions are winning. Oh, Oh, I just read that wrong. The Lions are winning 3-0 with Jimmy G just throwing an interception in the end zone intended for Devontae Adams. So sorry, Mario. Devontae didn't get the touchdown. Jimmy G threw a pick. Lions are winning 3-0 with 4 minutes and 49 seconds left in the first. Also, in MLB action, the series is tied 1-1 going into Game 3 tonight. Currently, the top of the third with the Texas Rangers at Arizona Diamondbacks with 2 outs and a man on third. So we'll see how that goes. But in the meantime, we do have A.J. Brown to start off with. Let's do it. Okay. 6-1, 25, 24. Let me think. It's only offense because it's easy mode. Offense, only easy mode. Oh, and the Texas Rangers score 1 run. It's 1-0 against the Arizona Diamondbacks. Top of the third, 2 outs. Man on first. Ooh, 6-1. We got to go. Can we go Joe Mixon? No, it's too young. Joe Mixon's older than that. Why am I blinking right now? It's literally anyone. Jalen Hurt? No, Jalen. So stupid. Come on, David. Just pick it. I'm trying to think. So he's not in the NFC. So let's start thinking AFC. We can go Tua. Why not? Or Tua. Just do Tua. See if we can get. Okay. So he's not a quarterback. He's not a wide receiver. So he's either a tight end or a running back. And he's in the AFC, but not in the East. Let's go with Joe Burrow. Quarterback. What am I doing? 25 years old. Najee Harris. Hey, there we go. Hey, there we go, guys. All right, now we're going to the hard one. I'm going to start off with A.J. Brown. They're never offense in the hard mode, and it's so frustrating. But we got this. So he's in the NFC, and he's 6'2 or 6'3. Older man. If you're 6'2 and 6'3, you definitely, and the number is higher than 11. So I'm thinking defensive end off the bat. I'm going to go with this one. Eric Armstead. Okay. 6'7"? Damn. Jesus, he's a giant. Okay, so he's old. Wow, he's an old man. Okay, so he's not on NFC West or the East. So you got the NFC South and he's not a defensive end too. So let me see what we got on the teams in the standings. NFC South, NFC North, and NFC South. Knives, name a Lions player. Knives, I need you. Knives, Lions player. Oh, there you go. And also, Live Wire said, I need 30 points to win with Jacobs. Probably not going to happen. Damn. Yeah. Based off the history of Jacobs, I don't think so. Nice. Think of a Lions player. I need your help. Or anyone. Let's think. NFC North. Let's go Kendricks. Eric. AFC, he's on the Chargers now. Damn, I remember when he was on the Vikings. So he's not a linebacker, though. That doesn't help. So he's not a D end. He's not a linebacker. Is he a cornerback? He's old man, too. What the hell? Okay, let's go to the NFC South. Let's see what we got. Oh, Vita Vea? So he's a cornerback? All right, so he has to be a cornerback or a safety. Okay. Cornerback or safety. And he's in the NFC North. So Knives, NFC North. Isaiah Buggs? What the hell's Isaiah Buggs? We'll go with it, though. Oh, damn. Okay. So NFC North, obviously not on Detroit, though. Not on Detroit. So Minnesota Vikings. Is Patrick Peterson still relevant? Pittsburgh Steelers. When do these guys change? I swear these all they're all. I'm on like Jair Alexander. Ooh, good one. It's on CCP. Jair Alexander. Farts. No. He's only 5'10. That's BS. There's no way he's 5'10. But his number is 22. Number 22. His height is 6'2. Number 22. And his age is 34, 35. And he's a safety. And he's not on the Green Bay Packers or the Detroit Lions. So that means he's on the Bears. Oh, God. If he's on the Bears, we're screwed. Is there a safety called Jackson on the Bears? Jackson. Dory Jackson. Not Lamar Jackson. No. J.C. Jackson? No. Smith. Who the hell is CIJ? Smith from the Vikings. Oh, Harrison Smith. Yep. Hey, CCP coming in clutch. That's what I'm talking about, baby. Everyone's sharing the wealth around here. There we go. We keep the streak alive. Thank you, guys. Appreciate that. Yeah, that was a good one. Yeah, I forgot he's on that team. Man, Minnesota secondary. Good one. He's a legend, too. Real quick, got one more and then pop out. But it's the... Thank you, CCP. I appreciate that. Thank you, guys, for guessing. Thanks, Knife, for starting us off. But let's go into the soccer one. Because we're on a streak for all three of these right now. Okay, last week we got this dude, and hopefully he changes out of the year because we're not doing him anymore. There we go. Okay, hide the photo. We got to start Holland. We'll go with that. No, he's not in the Premier League. That sucks. Okay. Yep, we're probably going to lose this one. Let's go with oh, he's young. He's a young dude. Let's go with Gabi. Nope, he's not in La Liga anyway. He's younger than 19? Oh, jeez, guys. He's a midfielder. Younger than 19 midfielder, not in La Liga. Okay, let's think. Serie A. Serie A. Midfielder, young. This dude from friggin' oh. Oh, where is he? This dude? We'll go with it. Oh my gosh, he's not in Serie A. Oh my gosh, we're 68. Who has a number 68 in soccer? I swear to God, I've never seen that before. So he's not in Serie A. So that means what they got? French League and Bundesliga? Oh God, guys, we're screwed. Bundesliga. Oh, is this Musala? It's not in Bundesliga. I swear to God. Okay, so he's in. He's in. No, he's not in Serie A. He's in a freaking. What's the league? The Uber Eats League. League. Oh, let's go with Mbappe's brother. Mbappe. Ethan Mbappe. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. Oh, he's not. Oh my gosh, it's literally the same thing. Okay. He's on PSG though, which gives a better thing for our chances though. Let's go with Vitinha. Portuguese dude. No, why did I go Portuguese? I know he's French. Oh, fart, that's annoying. Emery. This dude, this kid's French and he's young. Hey, second to last guess. Let's go. This guy. Hey, it's pretty good. But round of applause for that. That says clutch. That's from before. He said, I make a point not to pay attention to the Vikings. Fair enough. But without further ado, guys, if you enjoyed this podcast tonight, make sure you drop a like down below. Make sure you subscribe and share the show to everyone that you know. And follow us on our Instagram down below, just so you know you get updates when we go live and fun things that we post on our Instagram. Also, if you're new here, make sure you subscribe. Also, we appreciate every single one of you guys. Round of applause for you guys. Thank you for popping out. You guys are the best, and we couldn't do it without you guys. Without further ado, tune in on to Thursday and do all those things I mentioned before. And yeah,